क्या पता हम में है कहानियाँ हैं कहानी में हम Good evening, welcome back to In the Khud, vlog number 35. This is 13th of August 2022, 8 p.m. I'm doing this early today because I'm gonna rush to the gym, and then because it's Saturday, there's gonna be the hair wash session, and I don't want to miss out on my riyaz and guitar today because I have been missing it out for the last 2 days. That's post-dinner evening schedule, but that's very important. So not much to document today. Today I woke up at 10:30, but there is one very significant thing that I have to document. Earlier in the day I was trying to figure out an Excel function which I can use on my full-time job's timesheet, where automatically, just by God's intervention, the days on the left side will get just filled, and the date will also get filled depending on the weekdays. So I was messing around a bit with Excel functions that we can use, but I did not quite get to any reasonable conclusion there. Figured that Google App Sheet is a very interesting field to explore because it just allows you to make apps without having to worry about how an app is built, which I think is amazing. The biggest thing that I accomplished today is Nullify Script. One of the scripts that I've always wanted to make is almost, I can actually go ahead and say it's done. Like, it's one of the first scripts which I can say is done. So if you see here on the screen, 1, 2, 3, 4, these are 4 of my custom scripts, which pop and float is something I have even started using. Line paths is also something I've started using. Folder sync is something that initially it can be used, but I need to have iterations here. But Nullify doc here, I will show you what it does first. Okay, now let's say I have this composition here. It has all these elements which are separate layers, and paratha and omelette and frying pan, and there are these knobs. If I say this is one knob here. Okay, Nullify doc gives you 2 options, Null Single and Null Group. I will first show you Null Group. So initially, if I have nothing selected, I press any of these buttons, Null Single or Null Group is gonna give a prompt of please select a layer. If I have no composition only active, like if I'm in the project panel, for some reason no comp is active here, and I press this, it's gonna say please select a composition. So we have all the flags in check, which are gonna make sure that whoever is using this script, it's not gonna just start throwing random errors and then After Effects will start not responding. So I don't want that to happen. If I select, let's say first I'm gonna see this omelette thing here, and I'm gonna take the parantha, and I'm gonna take the hanky here. Okay, and I'm gonna do a group first. So I'm gonna select these 3 layers, and I'm going to say Null Group. Now that master control layer has made a null which is controlling only these layers, and wherever I'm going to move them, they will move together. I'm going to scale them, I'm going to rotate them, I'm going to scale them, rotate them, whatever, it's going to happen. Now that's the thing. The bigger use will come in when I have to, as I said in yesterday's video, there was this thing where I had to pre-comp and everything. The whole thing has to be appended to a group or a null. So I select everything and I say Null Group, and now the whole thing is on this null, which is called the master control. That's one application of it. The second application of it, which I feel is going to be a lot more useful, is let's say again I want to select these omelette, the paratha and the hanky, and I want to have nulls for these layers only. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to press Null Single. Now what Null Single will do is, it will do 2 things. One, right above those layers it will create a null. Okay, the original artworks which I had selected, automatically they'll get locked so that I don't select that omelette. Now it's selecting the one behind it. I cannot select this layer because it's been locked. It's only the null that's controlling it. Third thing is, the name of the null is same name of the layer with control in front of it, and the in point and out point of the nulls are matched, and it is right above that layer. Quite a few things this beautiful script is doing for me. Now if I just undo, and I can select one layer, like let's say the hanky layer, and have a null for it, which it is getting controlled by. Just a second. If I wanna select all the layers and make a Null Single, it will quickly, in a matter of, I don't know, in milliseconds, it's gonna create nulls for all these. Now one thing I could also do is, maybe that will be a little complicated. Now one thing definitely I wanted to have is, I want to have the anchor point of the null in the center of this box and not at this corner, which After Effects does by itself, which is why I said it's not completely there, but I think it's 95% there. Like, I can probably figure out how to center the anchor point. It gets the job done. Like, for whatever reasons I wanted to have nulls, now I don't have to worry about going up there, making a null layer, bringing it where it should be, parenting the artwork underneath. All of that is taken care of. So Nullify is one beautiful execution that I've been able to make out of of the little programming knowledge and logic knowledge I have. Of course, if I show the it's gonna be way too long to explain how this code is working. The single function, nullify single function, has it checks for if a comp is selected or not. Then we have standard definitions. We run through a loop, and I'd explained this basic structure even in yesterday's video. Basically, we are taking into account the number of selected layers through this function here, built-in function, and then there are two cases. If at least one layer is selected, you do this. If none is selected, you say no layer is selected. Then inside here, we are checking the layers which are selected, their transform positions. We're creating a null layer, which is using a function here called create null. Then that null layer's position and anchor point. I tried to do the anchor point thing as well, but was just doing something weird. The reason was doing that is because once you parent things, then the position changes. One more interesting thing here is if I use this, for example, this combination which I was using yesterday, if I select these, and you know that these text layers above are basically the coordinates, the current coordinates of these shapes. So you see they are moving here. When I select these and I make a null group, you see the position changes because all of those are now parented to this null here. So depending on that, the position coordinates of the objects change. That's how After Effects works. If I make single nulls, you will see that the position of all these artworks, which has been locked by the way, it gets zeroed out. So if I want to, let's say, move this shape layer just 20 pixels to the left, to the right, I should probably have even the null's position zeroed out because the artwork is to anyways. So I can come in here and say plus 20. No, this I could even do earlier. Yeah, I should probably have the null's position also zeroed out. That will be very, very helpful because I just need one layer. Yeah, that is one thing we can add. As we apply this script more and we get use cases more, we'll come across more interesting improvements and iterations we can do. The second important interesting thing I did today was small things I've learned: Google animation references. So I saw these videos here of Google privacy policy, but they're so beautifully made. I'm gonna do an entire series where, you know, it takes me like 5 episodes because I can see all of this being done through Duik. Right, so the entire series would be, first I design all of this in Illustrator. It's all of course done in Illustrator, and then we have a session where we rig these characters using Duik, and then we finally animate them, and then we edit in sound effects. So this is one series that I've wanting to do for a very long time, but I've just not been able to get around to do it. That's definitely on the to-dos to do. I think it's in my main to-do list as well, which is at the very top here. If I see here, content ideas, long form content, an entire series, 5 episodes where we dissect explainer videos from Vidico. We could also do here, let's put one up. Episode 1 we storyboarding and animatics, should be animatics, so that we understand how things are moving, how much they are moving. Then design in Illustrator and Photoshop. Then animation part 1, Blender After Effects, final edit, Premiere DaVinci. This is like a dream series for me to do, and let's pray to God that comes through. Other than that, for Blender I basically did not do anything today, and it's fine. It's a Saturday and the Raksha Bandhan celebration, a little late, but yeah, that's how it is. So I didn't go very heavy either, just kept things light, but even then I managed to get Nullify working. So that's it for today's documentation. We've exceeded 11 minutes. Oh my God. Thank you so much for being in the khud. I will see you tomorrow. Peace.